Hey guys, let me make sure this is recorded. Yeah, okay. Hey, it's Elizabeth, Finding Elizabeth. This is my, sorry, I might as well just leave the glasses on. This is my week 126 post-op vertical sleeve gastrectomy update. It is, I can't stand to leave them on. It is Monday, September 12th, 2016, and how is everybody? I'm doing pretty good today. Let's see. My starting weight in January of 2014 was 402 pounds. My weight at surgery on April 14th, 2014 was 360.6 pounds. My travel weight last week was, when I got back, was 208.6 pounds. My weight today was 204 pounds. I had gotten down to as low as 202. I think I was starting to be in ketosis, and then this weekend I bumped up the carbs a bit, and that's where that little bounce back came from. But I'm all good with that. So that is 198 pounds lost since January of 2014, 4.6 pounds lost since last week, 4.2 pounds lost in the last year. Yeah, it's a good thing that I'm that I've decided I'm ghosting it with everybody, get our shit together, and really pushing to hit my goal by the end of the year. Because when that number gets to 0, it's really going to bug me. And, unless I'm at goal. If I'm at goal and it's 0, I'm okay with it. And then I've lost 6 pounds in the last month. But as you guys know, basically, I have been going up and down within the same, like, 5 to 7 pounds for almost a year. Because of my choices. I mean, maybe the honeymoon period is over, but it's really been because of my choices. So, I think I may actually make a video about weight loss surgery today. What do you guys think about that? I pretty much got back to basics last week. I started C to 5K again for the 57th time, hopefully. Not hopefully. I will finish it and complete it this time. I have never completed it. I have never ran the whole thing. I won't go back to boot camp with Brandon until October, just because I've got a really, really busy work week, and then I'm in New York for a week, and then I have people coming in town for obesity help. So I just knew that I wasn't going to probably be doing it, and didn't want to pay for it for the month if I wasn't going to be there. So we're going to be hanging out at, here comes Dale Cooper video bombing me. I don't know what is up with this cat. I think he has an attachment disorder. He needs to be permanently connected to my lap, chest, or head, which makes sleeping, he is very cute though. You can't see him. Let's see. Can you see him? Dale Cooper, say hello. It makes doing things difficult, but anyway. Where was I? Oh, exercise. So yeah, I've been running on a treadmill, which when I've done C to 5K in the past, I've done it outside. Let me tell you, it's much easier to do it on a treadmill, and you can watch YouTube videos while you're doing it. So, what else did I do? I started drinking water, a lot of water, because when you stop drinking bourbon, guess what happens? You drink water. So my water's been on track. I've been tracking my food. I did not this weekend. And I mentioned last week that I was going to give up alcohol for at least 30 days. I was pretty successful in that, not 100%, but I feel okay with it. I had a beer when I went on a date on Friday. I had some wine at a wedding reception I was at on Saturday, and then I did have a sip of Gracie's pina colada yesterday because she couldn't get over telling me how good it was. But that is like, that's a fraction of what I would even drink in a day before, so I'm good with it. I was pretty surprised by two things. One, how easy it was to stop drinking, and because I had been drinking quite a bit since about March. But the big thing, and what I think will keep me committed to getting this in check, is just how much better I feel. I feel like myself again. I really do. And myself, it feels kind of good. So I'm just doing the things I need to do. Now the cat is stepping on the keyboard so that it's messing up my notes. Dale Cooper, really? So anyway, back on track with that stuff, which I feel very good about. Yeah, it's just really been a good week. All right, so the one thing that I had never done before the last few weeks was to watch my old videos. I know some people watch their videos before they post them. I could never do that because then I would never post anything. Sorry, I need to fix that. But I have been doing it, and it's really fascinating to me. To what I've been doing is watching the So I'm 2 years, 5 months basically post weight loss surgery. So I go back and watch the 2 year ago video and the 1 year ago video. And I mean, it's fascinating to me. The thing that gives me such joy is I was so happy. I think in one video I watched this week, I was so ecstatic about going to Old Navy and getting regular size clothes for the first time. So number one, it's really exciting to, not exciting, but it's really good for me to be in touch with all the things that I take for granted now that at one point were like not even a dream or speck in my mind. But the other thing is I was so happy. And my 5-month video, which is, I'm kind of going to do a little bit of a redo or a take on that one. My 5-month video, I was still probably, I don't remember, I was probably still like 270 pounds. And I was so happy. And that, just for me to look back on that and know what's happened in the last 2 years and know how much love and laughter and joy and friendship and travel and life that I didn't even have a clue of at that time I was going to experience, it just fills my heart up to see that. So anyway, so the video that I made for my 5-month post-op was 5 things I've learned about weight loss surgery. So in watching that back, and I'll put a link to it below, in watching that back, I realized that, yeah, all of those things I still agree with. And then I have 2 things I want to add, but I may have a little bit of a different take on those things that I said at 5 months, now that I'm 2 years, 5 months post-op. Okay, so here are my 5 things. You don't know what you don't know. That was my number 1 thing. And when I made that video, I was talking specifically really to people who were considering having surgery. I had been terrified of getting surgery. I felt like I was a single parent. I was putting my life at risk for something that I should be able to do on my own. Well, guess what? I couldn't do it on my own. And guess what? The surgery, it's a pretty simple surgery. And I was also talking about you don't know what it's going to feel like until afterwards. You can take all the the classes and the education and the videos are great, but until you actually experience, you really don't know what it's going to be like. So yes, 100%, I agree with that. You don't know what you don't know. Now more than ever, I believe that. But just in life in general, sort of like you don't know it until you know it, and until you know it, you can't not react to it. But it's there's a Maya Angelou. This cat is driving me crazy. There's a Maya Angelou quote that says, "When you know better, you do better." And when you don't know what you don't know and you learn it, then does that make any kind of sense? But anyway, there are so many things that I have learned and experienced, and good and bad, over these last 2.5 years that I had no clue about. And so yeah, you don't know what you don't know, so just give it a try, I guess. I don't know. I can't remember what my point was around that one now that I was going to make for the 2.5 year thing. Okay, what's the next one? Yeah, it is possible to have a life that does not revolve around food. I was overweight from the time I was probably 5 years old, and for then the next 43 years, always in the back of my mind is, what are you going to eat? Where are you going to be? What's the food there? What can you have? When can you get fast food? When can you have sugar? Da 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 da. And it was interesting to me to see that at even 5 months post-op, my life was not revolving around food. Now it absolutely does not. I mean, I think about food as nutrition. Now, because it's just me, I don't keep a lot of stuff in the house because I don't want to have things that I'm going to be tempted by. So really, my thinking about food is from the perspective of, okay, I know at a certain point in the day I'm going to get really hungry. Is there something here that's protein-based that I can eat when that happens? And so it's planning to feed my nutritional needs is the way I think about food. You know, I'm not saying that I don't see things that I like and might want to eat at some point, but it's not like the driving force in my life, which for most of my life it was. So that's really pretty awesome what's my number 3? Support is crucial. So in the video that I made 2 years ago, I talked about how I had always been such a loner, and I would never reach out to other people for support. And, you know, and it's just so funny because 2 years ago, I even barely knew the tip of the iceberg on how much support and friendship I was going to have in my life. But I talked about the class at Kaiser that Patty and I took, and the fact that I reached out to people there, most significantly to Patty, but to other people too. And even in the class, I would occasionally talk about things that were bothering me. And then afterwards, after surgery, the YouTube community was a big part. And for me then, it was, you know, really watching videos and reaching out to the few people that I knew. But I can't even tell you how this has not been the best year for me. There have been a lot of really wonderful things, but from an emotional perspective, I am learning and I am growing and I am figuring things out. And I never, you know, for really probably all of my life up until the last 2 years, I really didn't have relationships with people. And if I did, I mean, I had people in my life, but if I did, they weren't authentic relationships. And I really strive to do that now. But it's a whole new thing for me, and I am sort of a work in progress as far as that goes. And I am so, I mean, I cannot even tell you how grateful I am to all of the people who have shown up for me over the last 2.5 years in all the different ways that they do. I don't think, I can't even imagine getting through this last year without, not even just the people that I know personally, the friends, the people who I'm privileged to call, you know, close friends, but so many of you who comment on my videos, who, I mean, particularly in the last couple of months, have sent me messages who had never commented before. That level of support is amazing. So I encourage you to find it. I think I think many people who struggle with being overweight isolate themselves and don't always, and I'm speaking for myself because this is how I felt, and I'm the only person who I can speak for, but felt that because of, I mean, I would say it was because of my weight, but it's really much deeper than that, that I did not feel worthy of having the love and support of other people. I don't feel that way now, but I am familiar with that feeling, and I think that if I wasn't the age I was when I had surgery and hadn't, you know, been beating my head against the wall with my life forever, I don't know that I would have been vulnerable enough to form the friendships and relationships that I have. And in all honesty, you know, other than my relationships with my family, those are the most important things about my life. So even if you're somebody, who watches and you don't make videos or you don't comment, figure out some way to get support, even if it's just one person that you find in your community. And if because it really is important, because you are going to go through some major changes. In last week's video, I talked about how every single thing in my life is different now than it was 2.5 years ago. Oh my God, how many minutes? Oh my God, this is going to be one of those 9-hour videos. Anyway, find someone, and if you don't know anyone and you want to reach out to me and send me a message, I'll see if there's anybody I know that I can connect you with or help you find someone. But it's just so important because everything in your life is going to change. And having these people that you meet through this process of weight loss surgery is crucial, because they get you, they understand you, and not everybody does, and not everybody's going to be happy about all these changes you're making in your life. So I just, more than 2 years ago, for sure, support is crucial. And you know what? I'm really proud of myself for forming these relationships and for reaching out for support when I need it, because I have never in my life done that before, honestly. Okay, let me try to speed this up. Number 4, surgery will work, even for me. I deserve it. You deserve it. Yes, yes, yes. I think almost everybody goes through the stage in the beginning. Well, even before surgery, I was like, yeah, I'm going to have this surgery, but it's not going to work for me. It works for everybody else because they deserve it, but I don't. But yeah, it works. You know, you have to do some things. And I think even in the beginning, if you don't do those things, it's still going to work to a degree, but it will work for you, and you do deserve it. And it's interesting, as I was rewatching that old video today, I mentioned that I used to be jealous of people who were getting weight loss surgery, although I had never even, I had always just assumed that, oh, I can't afford it or my insurance is not going to cover it, and I had never even asked. And it took me coming to a point where I had started to establish some kind of self-worth that I was able to even investigate it. And what I realized in watching that video is I'm maybe a little bit in the same place about plastics, and I deserve plastics too. I have worked really hard to lose 200 pounds, and I am afraid, but the more of you I see do it, the more of you I see look so amazing and recover so incredibly. I'm going to do it. I'm going to figure out a way to do it because I deserve that. And so do you. Right? Okay. What's number 5? Number 5, it is never too late. Oh my God, that's my favorite one. I think I need to get a tattoo of that. You know, I was 48 years old when I had weight loss surgery. I am 50 years old today. And the thought, I mean, I could not even in a million years, 4 years ago, say, have imagined how incredible and full and happy my life would be right now. It has not been a great year, but that doesn't change the underlying, just the underlying fact of all the incredible people I have in my life, my family, my parents, my son, my friends, my colleagues. I am so blessed to have so much love and support in my life and to do incredible things. I have an amazing job that allows me to do things. Oh, well, I had that job 4 years ago, but I couldn't do those things, and I can now. And at 50, I feel better maybe than I ever have in my entire life. So it is never too late. Okay. All right, so those were the 5 things I said in my first video. There are 2 other things that I'd like to add to this now that I'm at almost 17 minutes. One is I call it the mental mind fuck. I think other people do too, but it's like just the emotional component of this that comes with real life. So you've spent your whole life using food as a tool not to feel things, or speaking for myself, that's what I did. That's what I think a lot of people do. And then after you have weight loss surgery, you really can't do that anymore. I mean, yes, there are ways around it, but for me, that has never been, it has never been effective. I know when I'm emotionally eating, but it has never been effective to me in terms of dealing with my emotions since I had weight loss surgery. I just can't eat to that level of feeling without getting sick. I don't want to. The things that I used to eat, may appeal to me for a couple of bites, like cake or ice cream or whatever, but ultimately I feel sick with that pretty quickly. So life happens, Number one, you have all these changes in your life because you have changed a lot about yourself. And I'm very fortunate because I wasn't married or in a relationship when I had surgery, because that adds a whole other complicated component to it. So I just had really to deal with my stuff, but then life comes along and things happen just in regular life, and all of a sudden you're faced with dealing with this stuff with without your coping mechanism. And that is really difficult. Or it was for me. Maybe not for everybody. For me, it was really difficult, even with, a huge supportive network of friends and family who love me. It was hard, and I had to feel the feelings, all of the feelings. And I don't think I'd ever done that before. I mean, I really don't know that I have ever truly felt the feelings for as intensely and as long as I did from this relationship that just ended than I have anything. Even when my ex-husband died, I had to take care of, I had to take care of my son. I had to take care of the other people in the family, my stepkids who were hurting. And I had my own pain, but it was, numbed with food. And I was also focusing on other people. But here's the thing. I felt those feelings and I lived, and it's okay. And I'm on the other side of it, finally. But there are so many lessons in that for me that it's like I don't have to be afraid to love somebody because of what might happen, because always in the past I thought, well, that's going to happen and I'm going to die. Well, guess what? I didn't. and I survived without food. Yes, I started depending on alcohol a little too much. Cross addiction is a very real thing. But even with the alcohol, I was still feeling the feelings because it didn't give me the numbness that my drug of choice, which always probably was food, did. Okay, so that's my other new one. And the last one is, this is a lifetime change. You cannot do this for, you know, if you weren't 400 pounds like me, if it takes you 33 weeks to get to goal, Scotty. I'm just teasing. But if it takes you a long time, or if it doesn't take you a long time to get to goal, so say it takes you 9 months to a year to get to your goal, you still have to do this for the rest of your life. You can't go back to doing the things that you did before and expect to maintain this weight loss. I think, and I'm going to do another video about this because yesterday I saw Gracie and I met her mom, and she was asking me, who has also had VSG, and she was asking me questions about how I had been as successful as I have, having had VSG surgery. And most of that success was in the first year, but I'm going to do a video about that maybe next week, talking about why I think that I have been successful. And part of it is genetics, but there are other things too. But this is something we have to do every day forever. We can never go back to, well, we can, but we're going to gain weight back. I mean, not all of it probably, but we cannot go back to the way that we used to eat before. We cannot go back to not moving our bodies, because ultimately we will lose this amazing gift that we've been given if we do that. Okay, have I been talking? Oh my God, 21 minutes. Okay, really quickly. I'm going to be in New York next week. I come in on Tuesday night. I leave on Sunday night. I want to put together a lunch on Friday, which is, I don't know what the date is. Friday, 23rd, September 23rd, somewhere in New York City. The only people I have confirmed to do that right now are Gretchen and Randy. Every single person in the weight loss surgery community who lives in that area is invited to come, and I hope you will. I would love to meet you. I would love to see old friends and meet new ones. Erica, you just moved to New York. I want you and Walter there. Seriously, come on. I do have some other time while I'm there. If that lunchtime doesn't work for you, reach out to me, and I will see if we can get together. I want to see the weight loss community. You guys are my people, and I want to see my friends that I already have. I want to meet new people, and yeah, so I'm going to be in New York. Other thing is, Naked Truth, sorry about last night, particularly sorry to Christian Haney. I was really looking forward to spending time with her, and she looked incredible. I've got to figure that out. It's a Google Hangout change that I need to figure out. And I just want to say thank you to everybody for subscribing and commenting and watching, and for being such an important part of my life. Okay, I love you guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye.